we are again. And there we go. Got some tunes here. And let's start on the third frame. So this one's going to be a little more complex because now we have an inner part, which is going to be either the scene you like sort of transition to. This isn't really a transition between scenes. This is really just like a peek from another scene. And what I'd like to do is get some face recognition technology so it can track where my eyes are and then put those right in there. And then just have the that scene dart in and out. But that does mean we'll need a second part here. So that is going to be a little more complicated because whereas before we have been just taking this, we now need to carve out a middle part as well. Okay. So yeah, this is going to be complicated. But here we have kind of the basics. So let's copy that and do the same thing we've done before. Oh, sorry, create a new layer. Fill with transparent. No, delete that layer group. Okay, new layer with transparency. Okay, and then we're going to paste this on top of that layer. Cool. Now we have, this is what we have. Okay. That's a good start. It's a good start. I'm not mad at it. All right, we definitely need to clean this up in here, however. So we're going to take this and zoom in here. Okay, and now we're going to have to take this brush and do the same thing we've been doing, which is maybe increase the size a little bit. Okay, cool. But we're going to have to do it a little bit differently now. So we have black selected right now. So let's start with the black side right here. So it's a little difficult to tell right here, but I think that it goes to just about here. Okay. And then from about here to about here to about here or so. Yeah, okay. So that's good. And then down here, we're just going to take this and draw a line across here. Okay. That means all this we can fill right in here, and all this we can fill right in here as well. All right. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Okay. There we are. That also means, let's take a look at what we have right here. Oh, that did not capture any of this. Okay. So we're going to have to take this. Oh. No. Ban you. Fuck you. I hope that banned the person. Okay, so we are going to have to take this and also draw, draw over here. Okay. And this gets a little complicated right here because we're going to have to take this and then go up here. Okay. Hey, that actually traced the line pretty well. Okay. And just as a reminder to anyone who's joining that didn't see things earlier today, I am trying to animate a transition based on the game Persona 5 that I've been playing, which has a really cool, like, sort of tear effect across the frame. Which I think would make a great sort of accent to some scenes in OBS. And just to remind people what it looks like, let's see if I can actually do this here. Okay. There we go. So just to remind everyone what it looks like, let's change the app here. And we're going to go over to DaVinci, my video editor. There we go. And so what it looks like is, is that. So very stylish. I like it. And if I can get like a close-up of my eyes going on there, that would be pretty cool. Having that just like tear in and out. So I'm working on this frame by frame. Fortunately, there are only about 5 frames on the intro, on the tear in, and only 1 frame when it tears out that I have to worry about. So that's pretty static. I guess like I could do something with that. Maybe I'll have to. I'll worry about that later. But that's the 1 frame right there that I need to worry about. And then it's gone. Which is pretty cool. That is going to make it easier than I expected it to be. So let's get back to animating, or touching up the frame here. All right, now that I have this isolated, let's take a look at the underlying frame. Okay, so right here we have this working to our advantage in that you can see the transparency of the date right there and see what things look like behind it. So let's swap colors. And I'm going to draw something right there. And I think it will go to roughly there. There. Yeah, roughly there. And then roughly there. Actually, let's do that. Okay. And then how does that look? That looks pretty decent, actually. That looks really good. Okay. I'm happy with that. Shit, it never works out that well. What? Okay. So let's try erasing some shit now. Okay. Just draw a plain line from here to there. Okay, there we go. And we'll have to do the same thing here. Draw a line from here to there to erase stuff. And then from here down to here. All right, so I missed a little bit on that. Let's try and get that a little bit more precise. Okay. That's looking pretty decent right there. And what do we have to erase down here, huh? Okay. There we go. Okay, that's looking pretty good. How about this right here? Okay, missed a tiny bit on that. Let's do that again. There we are. And down here as well. And that's cutting in a little too much. Okay. How about down here? All right. No, I call that good. I'm happy with that. And it's only a few pixels, but I know I can do better. There we go. Okay. Here we are. Okay. While we're down here, let's just erase this so we don't have to worry about it anymore. Sounds good, right? Sounds good. All right, and then, oh, the big question is, can we do this? Boom! Okay, there we go. Yes. Nice. Okay, let's see what that looks like at 100%. Okay. No, that's fantastic. Now we can just erase the hell out of the rest of this. We don't need that. Don't need that at all. All right. Erase all of this as well. Okay. Whoop. And that's what I get for being too greedy. I really should be using my tablet for this. But I'm too lazy still to dig it out. Okay. Okay. Zoom in here. Get some finer control. Can't believe I'm doing all this with a mouse. Can't believe I'm doing all this with a mouse on 3400 DPI. Can't believe that I actually did that. Wow, okay. All right, let's get back to painting a little bit here. No, that is way too large. Oh, no, let's swap the colors up here. Okay, hello, hello. And we're just going to take care of this, and then take care of this, and then we're going to fill this in here. I feel like I should be like filling this in here. God, this track. Heard this so much in this game. So much. Da 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 da. Oh shit! It's a raid! Raid! Saf! Hello! Welcome! How was your stream? How was your packing? Oh my god. I don't need to hear my own echo. There we go. Hey, Zaf! Hello! Okay. I'm just filling in some extra stuff here. So working on the third frame. Now, because I think that you probably weren't around for the beginning of this, here is... Okay, so here's where we are. Let me make that 50%. Okay, here's the frame. So this is the third frame of the transition. Things get a little more complicated here because we have... It was amazing! You finished a bunch of the organizing you didn't think you'd get to do until your parents left? Oh, that's so good! I'm so happy to hear that. Talked a ton about ADHD and relationships. Oh my god, that sounds like a great stream. I'm so happy you got that. Yay! Yay! It was a great stream. That's awesome. Aw. Yeah, so what we're doing here, this gets complicated because we now have the introduction of the inset here. And the inset is going to be challenging in an OBS scene because we're going to have the main scene behind it and only the portion in here exposed in the inset, and that's going to be whatever the second scene is that gets linked with this. So it also has two different shades of borders, which I have to be concerned with here. So here's what I've got so far. I've erased the after school part. You can see I've been spending all my time kind of erasing that, drawing over it, and I've also erased everything inside here. So we just need to touch this up a little bit because this looks terrible. Holy crap. There's no way I'm letting that see the light of day. So we'll just scroll over here and let's take a look at this. So using our trusty brush here, I actually did not expect to like the square brush as much as I do, but it's really handy, it turns out. Like super handy. Yep. Okay. Let's whoop. Okay. Let's use the shift key trick to draw a line here. Aha! See? See how much easier that is? See how much easier that is, Kit? You should remember that for the future. Okay. And we'll just paint over all of this. Hello. Okay. Cool. I believe we now have a thing. This is a thing. Okay, so what we are going to do here now is we are going to use the magic wand to select this, as well as this. So that joins the two together. We are going to reduce the threshold to something very, very shallow. In fact, it's going to be nothing whatsoever. And no anti-aliasing. We don't want anti-aliasing or feathered edges or anything like that because we want a very clean, distinct border. That's what the original is all about. The original artwork has some very stark lines here, as you can see. So we're going to take this and then we're going to invert the selection by going up to the select menu here. And there's an invert option, which I know you can't see. And then we're going to hit delete. And we're going to go back up to the select menu and hit none. All right. And now that should erase anything that is not part of this, strictly speaking. And just for... Oh my, okay. Tell you what, let's actually try feathering the edges here. Threshold, okay, maybe the threshold should be a little taller than that, huh? Little more tolerant. Threshold of around 30, in my experience, is usually pretty good. Okay. And we're going to swap that, fill this in entirely now. Okay, there we go. Do the same thing with the white. Except we're going to swap the colors here so we can fill this in. Okay, that is nice and stark now. Okay, let's take a look at how that looks. All right. And now, here's where things change a little bit, because what we're going to need to do is we are going to need to make this completely and utterly green. So I'm going to take the red and blue values and set those to 0. And I'm going to take this very bright green color, and we're going to fill this in right here. And then we're going to zoom in and fill in anything that's missing. Okay, you know what? Maybe what I should be doing is the same thing that I just did. All right. Let's increase the threshold here a little bit. You know what? Let's increase the threshold a lot. There we go. All right, and that should let us fill in everything here with green. And the reason we're doing that is because we want to replace anything that's green with whatever the interior scene is there. Oh my God. What is this? Oh, this will not do. Okay. We're going to have to touch this up a little bit. Let's wipe this across here. And across there. And across there. And there. Okay. I think we can probably do the same around here. Nice bold line of green. Okay. So we're going to use the Chroma Key feature of OBS to replace anything that's green here with the scene we desire, which in my case is going to be my eyes. Oh my God. Why does this not want to fill? What's going on here? There's something not quite right here. All right, well, clearly what I'm going to have to do is just reduce the size of this brush to 1 pixel and start making some fucking lines. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Hardness, 100%. Go back and forth here a couple of times. Super interesting. I'm glad you're interested by it. I'm actually seriously thrilled that you find it interesting. Smooth stroke. There we go. All right. I think the smooth stroke was the problem. Yeah, things seem to be a lot more. Well, but not quite. Okay. Dynamics options. Fade length. 0. That's not quite what I want. What if we increase the force? Is that what we need? I think that's more or less what we need there. You're going to learn so much? Oh, that's so good. Oh my God. I'm so happy to hear that. I was hoping that these would be a little bit educational, but I wasn't sure. So it's really good to hear that. This is how art gets done. It's all on the minuscule scale. I never really considered myself an art person, but I mean, I know how to use Photoshop and image manipulation pretty well. I mean, not so well that I can't still benefit from some advice from, say, Angel, for example. But, I can hold my own. And it's actually pretty great to get to exercise these skills that I don't get to use very much. Because, yeah, this is stuff I've known how to do for years. I mean, fuck, I would spend, I don't know, days at the computer doing like pixel by pixel art when I was a kid. And it really was like looking at individual pixels like this and fixing them. Yeah, when I do stream improvements, I'm always like, oh, teach me. But seriously, when would we find the time? Of course I did. Yeah, I know, right? Surprise! Who's surprised? Yeah, I don't think it's anyone. Okay. Okay. So let's get out of our 400% view because anyone who's a perfectionist is going to find flaws in this, and I am no different. When we're 400% zoomed in, I'm like looking at all these and being like, oh God, these are terrible lines. But looking at this, actually even 50%, looking at this is pretty good. This is pretty good. So again, the green is going to be chroma keyed to whatever the thing that we're inserting is. And if we wanted to, we could do a double chroma key. I could, instead of leaving this transparent, fill this in with something like, say, magenta, and then be like, okay, bam, bam, and then the rest of this is going to get chroma keyed to magenta. I'm not going to do that, but I could. I'm going to go back to my green for the green screen now. Okay, and let's export this. All right, so we'll save that as a PNG, which I know you can't see the save dialog here, and that's good because I want to not dox myself any more than I already have. And we'll save that. All right, and now, because like I have no idea how to do a green screen. Oh. Even though I have one now. Okay, well, that can be another class then. All right, let's go for a new image here. And we'll take frame number 4. And here we can really see what's going on with the eyes. Interestingly, I didn't notice this, but I find this very interesting. We can even see a little bit of tearing where they clearly had this as its own image asset, and there is some tearing here between the tear, meta tear, I guess, and the image that they're insetting. Because you can see that lighter boundary between the black and the brown there. And that tells me that they were not meticulous about sort of cutting their image or making sure that things were not anti-aliased. That tells me they were not as meticulous about turning off the alpha transparency and sort of like the gradient between the very dark black and, you know, whatever they were trying to inset, which tells me also further that they're doing exactly the same thing that I'm doing here. They probably have a section in here that's like green or white or something, or beige, I don't know, but some certain color that they're like, replace everything of this one color value with whatever image we tell you to put in there, which is exactly how you would do this in a game if you were doing these kind of graphics assets. This just sort of confirms it, and also tells me that they also were not completely anal about it, which I'm also not being. So I am very, very happy to see that. Okay, so cool. By now we know what the deal is here. We're going to take our magic wand selection tool. So fucking cool that I logicked into how they actually did it just by looking at the art. I mean, look, it doesn't come up very often, but I actually know this shit. And I love that I know this shit. Okay. This has turned out to be a surprisingly useful skill throughout the years. All right. You know what? I need to, anti-aliasing. Okay, and feather edges. Let's turn that back on. Go back to select none. Oh, no. Okay. So this is happening because I set the threshold way too high. 142 is way too high. I was thinking that was why we were getting some tearing between the black and the white boundaries. No, that's because I didn't have anti-aliasing and feather edges on. So let's set the threshold back down to something sane like 36. Go back to select none and try this again. And now if I hold the shift key down, I can add to my selection here. That's more what I would expect. Okay. It's hot that I know this shit. Oh, yay. I'm so happy. Thank you. Okay. So again, same drill. Let's hit copy, create a new layer with a transparent background. And we will paste this onto that layer. So we have a floating selection. And now we will anchor the floating layer to whatever the layer beneath it is, which is completely blank, which gives us the jag. So that's what we have now. Let's just delete this layer from the background because we don't need that anymore. And now we have to touch this up. Okay, so there we go. Now, someone who was a little more calculating than I am would adjust the threshold and the radius here, these two values, so that it got less of the hair, so it got less of the extra artifacts. Honestly, I'm like, I can power through it, especially because they give us the hints here of this thing, this line that was visible behind the date of how it's all supposed to go. I feel pretty comfortable just assembling this myself from scratch. So, all right. My favorite shortcut, this button right here sets it back to black and white, and this switches the two. So this will give you a foreground back. So if I draw anything here with a brush, it's black. And this swaps the two, and the background will be white. This swaps the two, so now I'm drawing with white. Very handy, especially when you're dealing with things that are black and white. Okay. Let's put the size up to like 10 or so. Yeah, that sounds good. All right, so what do we have here? We have this. Okay. Okay, so this looks pretty good down here. Is there anything with the white side of the jag that I have to deal with down here? I don't think so. Nope, that's it. Okay. There we are. So the only thing I have to do on the white side is up here. So let's put our layer on underneath here and then make sure that the layer we're editing is the jag. So select that, because that is something that's very easy to screw up, believe me. Okay, so we'll click there and then click here to draw a white line there. And then we're going to go, I don't know, that seems pretty good to me right there. Don't you think? Yeah, and then all the way up here. Okay. That overlapped a little bit more than I was hoping for, but it's roughly sort of where things were going. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that. I'm not going to be a perfectionist at this stage. Okay, so we're going to go right here. I think that's roughly where the corner between these two would be. So we're going to do that, and then do that, and then do that. Okay, and what do we have here? Okay, I missed a little bit, but you know what? Not too much. Not so much that we can't... Actually, not so much that we can't fix that pretty easily by doing something like that. Maybe add just a little bit more there. There we go. Okay. And I'm calling that pretty good right there, honestly. I guess maybe there's a pretty big discrepancy in alpha right there. So maybe if we do that, yeah, that looks a lot better. Cool, so now I can fill this in right here with white. Da 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 da. And I love that I'm doing all of this with free fucking software. I used to have to rely on Photoshop for this. And Photoshop, don't get me wrong, Photoshop still is the better program, I think. But this is pretty great. Like for free, I'm not mad at this. All right, and now we have to erase this stuff. All right, there's that gone. And there's that gone. And here's this gone. All right. Okay. Now we get to interesting things. All right, let's check the underlying layer. Right. So unfortunately, with the black side of things, everything is completely obscured by the date here. So let's swap over to black. We know that it starts up here, but where does it go? We're going to have to make a pretty calculated guess here based on the trajectory of the line. And I'm going to guess that it goes here. And then maybe here. There. And then here. Now the question is, why did that not show up? Oh, you know what? Because I was using the eraser. Right, I need to use the brush. Hey, that would help. That would definitely help a lot. All right. And then I said to roughly about here-ish. And then, so this down here seems much narrower than it does up here. So I'm going to assume that this difference right here contributes to that narrowing, which would be in line with the whole idea of this art style being very asymmetrical. Okay. I call that pretty good. That looks pretty good to me. Yeah. Yeah, no, I will absolutely take that. Okay, great. Now we need to, first of all, take care of this white part right here. Okay, cool. Let's erase some of this white stuff right here, but not completely, and close it in, because what I really want to do is use the fill tool and then make all of that black. Okay. Wow, okay. That was unexpected. I don't know why the fill tool decided to fill all of that in, but I can work with that. Now we just have to erase down here. Like so. Okay. Done. Bam. Okay. All right, and we will come for you later. I just want to make sure to get all of that as much as possible out of my way for the future. And then there's a lot of crap sort of hanging off the edge here, which if we were to use the magic wand tool would cause problems for us. Like let's just demonstrate here. So if I select this here, you can see all of this is selected. We don't want that. We don't want that to happen. So I'm going to go to select none, and we're just going to use the erase tool right here and draw a line straight down to here. Okay. Now, as you can see, there's still some stuff left here. So we can either try and get that with the erase tool, or I think what I want to do is actually use the brush to fill it in, which I just did. So that just like painted over everything. Slightly less true to the original graphic, but it's a sacrifice I'm comfortable with making. You know what? All this bullshit up here is bugging me. Let's just get rid of this. All right, that is the top of the screen. Okay, bam. There's the last of the, not quite the last of the date thing gone, but close. Okay. And now, let's see, go back to 10. Now let's go back down here and see what we can do there. Okay. Looks pretty decent. Oh no, I can see what's coming up and I don't like it. All right, so we're going to erase that line there. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. So here we have a corner somewhere in here. We can tell by the way the angle shifts. And I think that gets it decently well. No, not quite. Look at me being a perfectionist. Okay. All right, now all of this shit in here. Oh my God, I don't want to. Oh, no, 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 no. All right. This is the fiddly little shit that every artist is terrified to work with. So let's erase all that. A couple of times over so we make sure to get all of it there. Okay. And the reason I'm tracing over it a couple of times is because the way the erase tool works, the way I have it set up right now anyway, is that it tries to feather the edges and blend things that are sort of on the very edge of the erased area. So it has a gradient of transparency. I don't want that in this case. I want something that is fully transparent, and so the way to do that is either to adjust these things over here, which frankly I don't have time for, or to just trace over it a couple of times until any anti-aliasing or gradient or whatever is alpha gradient is essentially reduced to 0. All right. And the reason I'm doing this with such a small brush is because of the precision that we need to get into this corner right here. If the brush was any larger, I couldn't make this very acute cut into there. It would, I mean, let's just increase the size and show you. See, yeah, you can see from the outline here that that would be a terrible choice. Maybe I can start using a brush this size in here. But that is still a very risky proposition. And I fear for my edges every time I press the left mouse button here. Again, probably easier with the pad that I have sitting not 6 feet from me. Can I be arsed to get it? No. No, I cannot. Okay. All right, and that was to get rid of that section that you may have seen there. Let me undo it. Yeah, redo it. This thing right here. It's kind of another artifact. And this way, I'm actually cleaning up some of the stuff that Atlas left behind in their assets. Everything is clean and packed and ready. You're so tired, you can't even make a plate of delicious mom food. Oh no, Saf! But mom food is delicious. You need to make that. You mean you... You need to make your mom food. But fear not, Saf. If you do not manage to make your delicious mom food, I will feed you tomorrow. Because I want to take care of you. And I love you very much. Okay, now let's look up here. Ah. Here's something right here that I do not want. I want no part of this. Okay. Cool. That was pretty handy right there. And we'll get rid of this. It's amazing how much of digital art is just dealing with fucking minutia. Okay, there we are. And then cut a swath through there. And now if we go up to even 200%, you can see that these lines are much, much cleaner now. Okay, which means I can finally start going hog wild with erasing shit here. The fuck is this? Oh, the Bang Burger March. I love Bang Burger. Okay. All right, and this is where I get a larger brush, and I'm just like, fuck everything. Fuck that spot in particular. And all this shit up here, fuck it. Fuck you. Goodbye, you. What did you ever do for me? Nothing, that's what. Should I save before shenanigans? No! Okay, there we go. And there is some art that is amazingly based on erasing things other artists have done. That's true art, I'm sure. Okay. This is going to be so much better than the actual game. What? Oh, you mean the art asset here? The thing? The thing I'm doing? All right. Let's take a look at what we have here. All right. That's pretty good. Let's compare it to what we have on the overlay. So, there we go. Bam. You know what? I call that pretty fucking successful. Although, let's take a moment to zoom in here. See all this shit? Yeah, I see why that happened. Okay. Yeah, all that shit. We're gonna take care of that. Okay, we have our trusty erase tool. Hit that. And it's a straight shot down to here. Zoom. Okay. One more, because I didn't quite get all of it. Zoom. Okay, there we go. That is well and truly erased. Okay. If I could tell that even at 50%, it was bad. All right. I mean, it's not completely accurate to where it was going, but I call it good enough. Like that's pretty fucking good right there. I have your permission to make all future Christmas presents be stream improvements. Okay. All right, Saf. That's great. Thank you. Okay. Now, let's switch the color here. And we'll fill that in. Ah, here's where we run into problems. Okay. Well, first of all, let's undo that. First of all, let's select that. Let's select you. Let's select you. Okay. And now let's invert the selection by going up to the select menu here. There's an invert thing, and we will remove anti-aliasing. And oh, you know what? Oh, okay. Let's try increasing the threshold. The threshold is not yet high enough for that kind of contrast. Oof. Okay. Well, we won't worry about that right now because actually, fuck it. You know what? No. No anti-aliasing, lower threshold, because actually what we can do here is select just these things. And then what I can do here is I can delete. Now, if I invert the selection, I think I'm going to run into problems here if I try filling in with white. I think that's going to fill everything in. Oh, no. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Okay. And then if I fill in with black here, okay. But you see that we still have a couple of weird little blivets right here. I count 4. 1 right here, 2, 3, 4. Let's zoom in so we can see those. Yeah, okay. So we are going to have to erase those for sure. Bam. Okay. All right, up to select none. Now we can select our green screen color and fill this in. And this is still causing us problems for some reason. I'm not sure entirely why. But let's zoom in a bit more. And we'll just use our paintbrush to touch this up. Okay. Again, something weird right there. So excited to see this in action. I'm actually, if this works, I'm really excited too. But yeah, we will have to see. Oh, this shit down here. Okay, hang on. Let's take care of this. Actually, you know what? Let's zoom in even more, because this needs some fucking precision. What is this? Legend of Gambla Goemon. Okay. This is something I don't think I've hit yet. All right, so we're just going to fill in everything here. Also, green screen pillowcases. Awesome. Yes, which should be fun to play with. I agree. I definitely agree. I am looking forward to that, in fact. Okay. Zoom back out to 50%. And I would say that looks pretty damn good. Okay. So let's export that as a PNG. In4, export. Okay. And we will also save this particular project. Okay. Okay, cool. And then I need to get to bed right now, actually, but let's just see what awaits us with our 5th and final intro image. Okay. So we still have all this shit up here. The black interior border is more pronounced. But it's actually going to be easier along here because of the high contrast, the high contrast of her face with the black border. This stuff is going to cause us some more problems. That's actually going to be really easy because, again, of the high contrast. Oop. Have I tested this at all? Hell no. I have not. Is it worth making the final asset before testing it? Well, I don't think so. I think I want to have the entire thing assembled into a movie first, before trying to mess around with the green screen. Because I could do a green screen with an image. I could do a green screen with an image versus a movie. But a movie might pose challenges that an image wouldn't. As we saw with the background that I was doing, the stuff with Natron and the borders here along the webcam and the chat window. So I'm a little wary of trying to use an image as a proof of concept for something that's a movie with transparency. And at this point, I think, like, especially if I only have 2 frames left, I can do those. And the last frame actually isn't too bad at all. The last frame is pretty easy. That's true. I could make a movie with what I have. I've actually got 4. I've got 4 frames. I could do that. And that might be a good proof of concept. There's additional stuff that I would need. But I could certainly try it as it is now. Yeah. The other thing is, if I assemble everything into a movie and sort of put it out there, publish it on YouTube, someone else might be able to figure out a way to make the scene work where I couldn't. So I think there's still value in having the movie fully formed, even if I can't quite make it work. But it would still be good to test the proof of concept. But yeah, no, it's a fair point. It's a fair point. It's definitely worth considering. Anyway, it is 2:15. I have an interview tomorrow, first thing. So why don't we see if there's anyone who'd be good to raid? Oh my god. Beach is streaming. Let's go visit Beach. All right. Thank you for joining me on this artistic journey. I'll do some more as I try to figure this out. It will be full of missteps, misadventures, and mishaps. But at least it will be amusing, I hope. All right. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you later.